Ayun na tayo. Ayun, no? Live na tayo. Mga kaabante, hindi ko nakikinig yung tunog ko. Pero okay lang yan. Sige, carry. Ayan, isang masayang gabi. Mga kaabante, ako po yung lingkod na nag-iisang tigasing tagapagtanong. Your universal online host, Jigo Postolero, para sa programa Jigo Live. Ayan, hindi ako nakikinig. Ayan, hello? Ayun na. Oo, yung music ko nandiyan ba? Ayun, no? Swabe. Oo, talaga namang mga kaabante natin dyan. Oo, sa mga viewers worldwide. Syempre, i-share na natin ang magandang balita sa bayan tayo napapanood sa ating YouTube channel, Abante Teletabloid Facebook page, Abante Teletabloid DWAR, ayan, Abante Radio. Syempre sa AM station natin, no? 1494, Abante Radio. Ayan, no? Hindi ko alam, medyo kinakapa ko pa tong ano, no? Hindi ko naririnig yung tananananek. Hindi ko alam kung ayan, no, yun pala yun, napakalupit, no, napakatindi. Palakpakan natin ang Abante Radio prod natin na walang 25 years old, lahat 23 pababa. Oo, talaga namang pangdiinan yung mga production ko, no. I believe that children is our future. We need to teach them well and let them lead the way. O, di ba? Kasi mga bata yung mga prod ko dito, mga future yan, no. Nanonood sa atin si John Wong. Shoutouts sa iyo, John Wong. Ayan, live na tayo ngayon. Talaga namang pangdiinan to kasi no Wednesday sa YouTube kami. Syempre, ibang battlefield yung YouTube. Hindi man natin ilipat kayo dito sa YouTube. YouTube kami live. So, ngayon, Facebook. Ayan na tayo ulit. So, todo-todo po ang ating pag-share ngayong gabi. Kasi pangdiinan po ang ating episode ngayon. Hindi lahat mapag-uusapan. Itong topic natin ngayon. Medyo kakaiba to. Parang feeling ko practical power. Parang magiging si tayo nito, si coach, no? Talaga. No. Oo, so ito na nga, no. Makasama natin, pakilala natin for the first time ever. Makasama natin ngayong gabi, no, ang tagapagtatag, no, founder ng Peaceful Foundation na si Mr. Patterson, at tuklasin natin kung bakit at paano niya tinulungan ang milyong-milyong tao na makawala sa pagkalulong sa pornograpiya. Let's all welcome Mr. Patterson. Welcome to the show, sir.
It is a pleasure to be here, Jigo. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, that's nice, sir. How are you? How are you doing?
Exceptionally well. Even better now that I'm talking to you, mate.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, let's talk about this Peaceful Foundation. But before anything else, I just want to know, before you start this foundation, what are your experiences? Anything that helps you think about building this amazing foundation with a great advocacy?
Oh, it's all right, I guess. I mean,
Yeah. How was that? I mean, what are your visions during your younger years?
yeah, basically, I mean, funnily enough, all right, if we're getting really hippie, I have had dreams about sort of like getting people to work together in such a profound way, which is sort of a little bit crazy. But I mean, we won't go too sort of deep into sort of like crazyville sort of yet. But basically, I run the world's largest free and open source method of quitting pornography online. It's a completely free and open source book, and we get a lot of people who basically, instead of struggling with willpower or struggling to try and quit it or ignoring the fact,
Okay.
then we get people quitting in such a profound and deep way that they're just happy. They've
Okay.
done it, right? Instead of sort of like struggling with willpower for like counting days, counting streets, trying to block it or something like that, they just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, because sometimes the one of the problem is that they're ignoring the fact that there's really an addiction to porn because they think that is normal, something like that. But I just want to know how come that it crosses your mind that this is gonna be your advocacy to stop porn addiction? Is there an experience of, let's say, a family member or that you wanted to help before during the time, but you're powerless because you're just a youngster, something like that? Or personally, what is the story behind it?
Yeah, well, it was me, right? Like, the reason I wear this weird hat is that I could be anyone.
Okay.
Right? It's a common denominator for everyone. Everyone uses it nowadays, and we're not really willing to talk about it because it's so stigmatized.
Okay.
Right? So the misconception is that you're either a porn addict
Okay.
or you're just someone who uses porn. Right? But we don't call people nicotineaholics,
Hmm.
right? Who have lost control of their nicotine addiction. We call them smokers or vapors. So too, porn addicts and just porn use and its effects.
Okay, so in line with that, I just want to know, how do you let's say categorize the kind of situation? Like, for example, how do you know if this kind of people really need the help to stop, something like that?
Well, it desensitizes your brain, but that makes it more, learning that fact makes it more difficult to quit. But the argument is there are no benefits to any amount of porn consumption.
Okay.
It's just a subjectively awful experience to go through it. And most people don't realize it, right? So I used to use porn like everyone else back in the day,
Mhm.
right? And then you learn that, like, you learn it's bad, and then you try to quit it, but then you can't really do it, and you just sort of go through this cycle for ages, or you're not even aware of the problem, and you're like, oh, like, like it's fine, like it's just something I do, and then sort of you have like a couple of close calls with sort of like, like where, your downstairs doesn't work or something like that, and that sort of scares people into trying to quit. But as soon as they try to quit, then the reason they do it, like the reason they're trying to quit in the first place, disappears. I mean, we're sort of going deep into it, but the reason why I did it was that I found a method that really worked online, and it like works incredibly effectively, but it was really poorly written.
Okay.
So I basically sat there, two e-readers, basically like retyping the entire thing. I've shortened it down, and now I'm rewriting it again.
Okay, so
yeah.
how about in your situation, for example, right now you already know the method, something like that, or where to go if ever that you're struggling. But in your case, I just want to know if there was let's say, a guide or something like that, or you just knew it by yourself. How was the situation back then?
Well, basically, so most people try to quit using like, okay, if I can stop doing it for long enough, then eventually I won't want to do it anymore.
Okay.
And I'll be free. Like, life will actually be like good again, right? But turning an addiction into a forbidden fruit isn't how you treat one.
Okay.
If any method that requires you to go through like any amount of pain in order to quit makes it harder, which makes sense.
Okay.
Right? So instead, you have to look at the reasons why people like use it in the first place. Like, all right, it helps me to relieve stress, or like it helps me to concentrate,
Makes me calm, something like that.
Makes me calm, perfect. Yeah, like exactly all those sorts of reasons. But as you sort of deconstruct the effects of pornography in the face of those reasons, then you sort of come to the conclusion that you might not actually enjoy it as much as you think. And so, yeah, that's what the book deals with.
Is that the same reason? That's why you look for the solution, how to escape it? Because you feel that you're in there, let's say, a mouse trap, something like that?
Yeah, well, you just feel trapped.
Okay.
Not even like a mouse trap. You just feel like stuck in like quicksand.
Okay.
But it just keeps dragging
Yeah,
you
it's
down.
pretty much hard. Yeah, the quicksand thing, you don't know how to survive. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I sort of lucked into finding this method, and I just took it upon myself to sort of improve it as much as I could. So, yeah, and that has been the journey. So now we get around 70,000 people a month quitting, which is pretty good.
Okay.
I want to just cure the world of it. It feels so good. It feels so good. If you put it as a meme, it would be like, feels so good to be pure. Oh, purity feels amazing.
Pure and clean.
Pure and clean.
Yeah, something like that. So I just want to know how this peaceful foundation started, and when did you realize that you are helping a lot, slowly but surely? Can you tell us more about the let's say the process, because it's not an overnight thing, that right now thousands of people or millions of people are now into shifting on quitting, something like that.
Yeah. So, like, if you like anyone, if you assume that like what I'm telling you, like, I promise you, please please, I'm crawling over to you. Hey, just gotta tell you, like, it's easy to quit. I promise. All right, so accept that.
Okay.
So the more interesting question is, what can you do with a bunch of people who are suddenly feeling pretty good, like, like smicko?
Okay.
Well, I think they should improve their local communities. I think we should work together to sort of create a more peaceful world, like a more peaceful foundation for the world. So yeah, that's what I want to do.
That's very nice. Yeah, you have the great vision, something like
Yeah.
that, because you certainly believe that it's doable.
Mm.
So you need to educate or
Yeah.
to let other people know that if it's possible for you, it's also possible for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with you either. Like, that is the most like there's nothing. You just, like, we just got caught in it as
Okay.
a generation, right? There's so many reasons for it. Love is probably involved as
Yep.
well, like generationally. But like, there's nothing wrong with you either. It's
Okay.
just like, hear me out. I promise. It's good.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice. So I just want to know, in your own opinion, or let's say on your own words, what is the difference between the porn addiction, or let's say you're really addicted to the physical act, or let's say having it done with a particular person, or sometimes people are having multiple partners, something like that. But I'm not saying that they're also consuming porn. Sometimes physically, something like that. Is it relatable as well? If you quit pornography, do you think you can also quit that physical let's say activity that you're hooked, something like that, or it's a different matter?
Well, the question is, what can we talk about on your show, Jigo?
It's okay. Feel free.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's for education. And informative as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So what would be the difference for that? Because sometimes it may lead.
I'm telling you, mate, semen retention is the way to go for every man. Every man should do it. 100%.
Okay.
100%. It is the most beautiful, pleasant experience. Colors seem brighter. You can find things online, but every bit of your life just seems to improve. You feel good. Even if you are with a partner, I don't reckon people should, like, spill their bloody seed.
Yeah.
I reckon it genuinely makes you feel better, and you're more loving with your partner. Like, any woman I speak to, like, hey, like, how does your partner act after you sort of finish,
Okay.
like, doing the deed? It's usually they're a little bit like, oh, well, they just don't feel good.
Okay.
Right? And sort of like, it cuts off that sort of loving emotion. So if you just don't do that, and even if you do it, you just sort of accept that it sort of happens, I guarantee you, your entire life will improve. Whatever goal or anything that you are set out to do will just, like, serendipitous magical moments will just happen in front of it.
That's nice, because there's no distraction, something like that,
Yeah.
or let's say flames on the road, something like that, because the way is pretty much clear.
Yeah.
So to simplify for the viewers, let's say most especially our Filipino viewers here, let's just put it on a simple manner. If you quit porn, what's next? Something like that. The good things that you're explaining.
Yeah. So if you quit porn, you will just feel naturally better.
Okay.
If you cease ejaculating, you will just feel even better. And
Okay.
like, it's sort of it's something that every spiritual teaching throughout history can agree on. Like, I sound sort of crazy sort of talking about it. Like, someone is listening at the moment being like, who is
Yeah, because sometimes they're quite what is that again? Is it
Yeah.
possible? There's a lot of questions, right?
It's sort of like any amount of sexual energy can be transmutated, right? So the tendency is that with sexual energy, we either get caught in, like, the north pole of the body
Okay.
or the south pole of the body. But I'm going to sound very hippie as I talk about this. But the goal is actually just to move it and sort of just go with it, not to fight yourself.
Okay.
Or sort of but eventually it just sort of, it mellows out. Like, at some points you'll feel incredible.
Let it be.
Let it be.
Let's go with the harmony, something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
And you feel in tune with the universe and therefore your partner as well, which is just sort of it. I think on a worldwide scale, it's probably not good either. Right, I reckon we should be sort of more loving with people. We should at least give it a shot for a while.
Yes, it's very nice. Take time to realize, to listen it, to learn, something like that.
Yeah.
So all over the world, I just want to know, because we have a lot of let's say a different culture, something like that. Some regions or anything, it is not let's say it's forbidden. How do you let's say penetrate, or let's say how do you no how to enter, yeah,
yeah,
the culture, should I say, for you to continue the advocacy, because sometimes, as you said, there's a stigma on that. How do you pursue?
Well, I thought about the Philippines because you guys are incredibly open-hearted. Yeah, I have Filipino friends in Australia, and they are incredibly authentic.
Okay.
And yeah, I spoke to them about it, and it's common here. We all know that, but I think that getting through to dioceses and churches is a good way for social media content, because I feel like if we can have a more honest conversation about it and not demonize people or stigmatize people for doing it, just sort of accepting that fact and then working to sort of be like, hey, well, there's a method if you want to quit, and not like forcing people or anything like that, just being calm about it. That's the way to do it. I mean, the Philippines seems, because you guys can have those conversations, it feels like a much easier place to be able to at least start it, which is, yeah, I'm excited to meet more people. Everyone I've met here has been lovely. Like genuinely, I haven't met a single bad person, which has been good. But yeah, it's challenging to do it in sometimes where places are stigmatized. But I mean, Saudi Arabia, I get people from Saudi Arabia messaging me all the time about it. So it's affecting everyone. Like, and we all know this, of course, but it's sort of like we don't even seem to recognize the problem in the first place, which is sort of crazy. But yeah, anyway, regardless.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Because actually you have a system, a pattern, something like that. So all we got to do is to follow, or should I say, to inquire if you're, let's say, curious about it, and someone who needed that help. By the way, I just wanted to greet all of our viewers here. We have Maria Maridel watching, and it's also Nika Ballesteros is watching. Nathan Valdez is watching. Helen Jupiter Gusilatar is watching. Borley is watching. Gel Gaborn is watching. Boss Bay. Shirley De Castro is watching. Shout out to all of you. So, Mr. Patterson, to continue with our conversation, people want to know a story from you. Let's say a particular person, without mentioning name or nationality, that ever happened to approach you regarding the situation, and can you tell us how the quitting changes his or her life?
I get so many people, it's almost incomprehensible, who say, you have completely changed my life.
Okay.
Which is like coming from me, which is, I found the same method, but it was just very poorly written. I know how they feel, because it was sort of like it literally freed up. It set me free. So it's that sort of feeling, but everyone who sort of gets it. But the youngest I get is sort of 8 years old. 8-year-olds messaging me.
Yeah. Then after that, the message. Did you verify it first, something like that?
Yep. I mean, you can, as far as you can, just sort of like, hey, well, I mean, they're playing Roblox all the time on Discord. So
yeah. So it's really nice to prevent early, right?
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
Then what happened?
Well, I mean, they got hooked at 8 years old. This is a common experience, as young as 5 now.
Yeah.
Which is
because of the technology. Yeah, you can't blame. Yeah.
Yep. It's not even like
the
we're
access.
The access. We're not talking about it. Like, it's a perfect storm of just everyone suddenly, like, if everyone started smoking at 12, right? If everyone like, oh yeah, have a quick dart. Like, if everyone started smoking at 12, we would regard lung cancer in adolescent boys as normal, or adolescent girls as well. Everyone is affected. But yeah, if everyone started using a supernormal, highly addictive stimulus at young ages as well, we would regard depression, anxiety, attention deficit problems as completely normal. It's just how things are. And it also paves the way for other addictive substances to creep into people's lives, because there's no hope anymore. Like, if we sort of look outside like, oh, well, life just sort of sucks. Like, like, it's over, we're fallen. Sort of like all manner of sort of just very sad things to say. Where if you go outside, it's actually just 2005 outside. Like, we actually did, like, there's TikTok and stuff nowadays.
Yeah.
There's dogs are feeling good. Like, they don't understand why everything's going on. No, everyone's like staring at the screen like, what happened?
Yeah.
But like, everything's okay. Low key. It'll be okay. just sort of like if we free all of us from addiction, it'll be all good. I promise.
Yeah, and we believe in that because as I can also sense the purity in you. So in line with that, I just want to know because as I can see here, I can only see your eyes. So as I told you earlier, I was thinking, what does Mr. Patterson really look? Does he look like Brad Pitt, Nick Carter, something like that, Channing Tatum? So you're a good-looking guy, or let's say you're average for most. That oh, that's great. He's a good-looking guy, something like that. So
Are you flirting with me?
how do you let's say prevent? Let's say because you can't control it. Sometimes other nations or let's say that you're gonna try to hit on you, but you have the advocacy to stop the urge. However,
Well, you got to feel it fully.
Yeah.
Right? So if someone hits on me, I'm like, oh, hello, you're very pleasant. And sort of like, instead of just letting myself be like, hello, miss, you're very sexy, very beautiful. Hello.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of like, who are you?
Okay.
Having like an actual conversation with someone and being a little bit flirty.
Yeah.
Just sort of like, but being human about it. We've sort of lost that nuance, I feel.
Okay.
And that's sort of the most beautiful part.
That's nice, and you're making it great for most especially to our viewers here that nothing is impossible, and if it's happening to you, yeah, it can also happen to them, something like that.
Yeah.
So how about the longer terms that you wanted to have or to build with a peaceful foundation? Let's say you want to go to the school, something like that. Partners with what's the long terms for this?
So like a more long story. I mean, I went to my old high school. I was like, hello,
Okay.
hi everyone. This is what I want to do. Like all sort of wholesome and just sort of, I reckon we can do it. And like, we'll never do this. Like.
So how do you handle rejection for that? Because you know to yourself that you're doing a great advocacy, but sometimes people won't accept. What do you do about that?
The reason why they're not accepting it is because I'm some 25-year-old.
Okay.
Like psychology guy, sure, but sort of like you sort of need people in the subject matter expert. I reckon if a lot of kids who read my book take a letter to their school about it, I reckon that would be something. But when you get people's kids involved and you're sort of like, hey, we got a free and open source book, like it's a good vibe. But I want kids to actually spread it between themselves. Right? I want it to be such a good vibe that you don't do that. Because then you can sort of sidestep the sort of like the scariness
for them to get loose and to be open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then if you get all those kids also thinking like locally instead of sort of like thinking about, the group chat, like thinking about like, like cool things we could do together to sort of make the world a better place. That's where I want to take it, but on a global scale.
That's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So right now, what are your current thoughts? Because right now there's a lot of people helping you. Are you overwhelmed because the numbers are not that quite tight? You have a lot.
It is continually stressful, but I maintain composure always.
Yeah, because you don't you cannot afford to let's say to relax for a little quite that long because you need to manage something like that. There's a lot of things in your shoulders.
You have no idea, mate. But I am planning to go to the museum, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Okay.
There's a couple of good museums and art galleries around in Manila.
Okay. Then, there's a lot. Okay.
I'm pretty keen. Like, it's a bit. I was struck by how many trees there are here. Like, you don't usually see that in many cities around the world. Like, it's like. Yeah, like sure, I'm excited to try your public transport system. I've heard wondrous things about it. But
just brace yourself with let's say a sort of stampede on a rush hour or something like that. Maybe you can try it on let's say before lunch, something like that. The dead time.
Yeah, I'll be trying both. Like let's go through. Have someone push me on the train.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah.
So, however, if you're outside, you're not wearing the mask.
I'm planning to wear the mask
all throughout.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the guards? Let's say because sometimes they're quite let's say sneaky about it. Oh, what's on your full covered?
Yeah. It's I'm very white. I'm very white. You asked what I look like. I've been told I look like every white person, like an amalgamation of them,
like a generic
white. Yeah.
Whenever I saw someone on the, let's say, a can of milk, like Alaska, something like that.
Yeah.
The boy in Alaska, something like that. Okay.
But yeah, the amount
Universal. Yeah,
universal
that's the perfect
universal
term.
light.
Okay.
I've the amount of times that people have come up to me at uni and been like, "Have we met before?" And I'm like, "No," but I've been told I look like every white person. They're like, that must be it.
Yeah, but there's a problem with that. For example, if you're gonna enter, let's say, airport, something like that, or
Yeah, probably just go on the airport, just hop on a plane. I might not make that joke live on air.
but you're not in full gear, something like that.
No, but I think
Face mask, a typical face mask will do.
Yeah, I mean, like, you want to be sort of likable.
Okay.
Like if I'm walking around Manila, I mean, like the hat is fun. It's
Okay.
funny. Like, like it's not, like I'm not crazy. I promise. Like, like yeah.
No, we don't think that way because you're pretty much cool, right?
Cheers, brother. You too. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Like it's part of the brand. Like I think privacy is in.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of privacy. I'm a big fan of keeping it low key. I'm not going to be around here forever. I don't want to be an influencer.
Yeah.
But social media is the way you got to do it.
Okay.
But yeah, I just
for the people to focus on the advocacy itself, not to remember a particular phase that leads.
No.
Something like that.
Again, you could be anyone.
Yeah.
You could be anyone, and it's a problem that affects everyone. And yeah, I think that's a powerful message.
That's very nice, sir. So, Mr. Patterson, just want to know, what is your message? Most of our viewers right here, what could be your final message to them, or how they could reach you? We're gonna give you the floor. Here's your camera here. You can look at them. And feel free to say thank you to anyone that you wanted to thank. Promote the pages, the books, or how they can reach you, something like that. Okay, the floor is yours. Okay.
It's a nice floor. They got a nice place here. But yeah, first thank you for watching and like hearing me out. I appreciate that, being open to it. My main message is that if you go to easypeasymethod.org, you will find it incredibly easy to quit pornography. And if you want to reach me, my actual Instagram address is delete insta please. Is my actual Instagram. If you search that up, you'll have Fraser Patterson show up. So yeah, and I just want to tell you that I just want to wish you a wonderful life too. Yeah.
Okay, and how they gonna? Is there anyone else that you wanted to greet, something like that, or to shout out?
Stephanie and Simon, who are sitting here in the building. I love you guys. Awesome. They're excellent people.
Okay.
And everyone on the Discord too. Boys, we're back. We're in the Philippines. We're chilling. Hey, what's up? Well, yeah.
That's nice.
And you, Jigo. Yeah,
Mr. Patterson, we're so glad to have you, sir. And we're looking forward whenever that you're going here. You always have a slot for us. Where I'm going to give you an episode.
Absolutely, brother.
And tell us more about what added more, something like that, and everything. You're always welcome here, Mr. Patterson. We believe in your advocacy. We're one of your advocate, should I say? Peaceful Foundation. Let's all give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Patterson, God bless to you, and wishing you all the best. We're just here, okay? One message away.
You too, Jim.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I had a great time, huh? It's like a Hollywood a Hollywood talk show right now.
We've still got a riff in us, mate. We need to talk about how I ate kangaroo meat from the dog food shop at some point. Yeah.
At some point, yeah. But maybe we could settle. We could set sometimes. Okay. Yeah, I know we didn't tackle about your showbiz, let's say your Hollywood crushes. We do maybe another time, okay? All right. So thank you so much for that. And this is Jigo Postureo, ang inyong tigasing tagapagtanong para sa programang Kwento Mo Ang Bida, Jigo Live. Thank you so much.
Live mula sa Abante Command Center sa Quezon City. Ito ang inyong tigasing tagapagtanong, Jigo para sa Jigo Live. Jigo Live.